Well, folks, at the end of our lives, all we have created is memories for ourselves. And guess what? The best memories are created inside our homes. So today, we are going to take you inside a beautiful, gorgeous home and tell you how you can create memories in there. Good morning, viewers. Welcome to yet another special episode of Women Now as we talk to you about real estate, which is actually a very favorite topic of mine. And I get a chance to talk to Valya Ragu, who's been actually helping people buy real estate in the Bay Area for a very long time. And I'm here to learn a little bit about the latest and what's cooking out here in the Bay Area.
Thank you, Ina. Thank you so much for having me on this show. And I'm very excited to be a part of this segment. And
We've been wanting to do this for such a long time.
Absolutely. And I really thank you for the opportunity and to talk about my passion and my business, my real estate.
You literally make homes for people, which means you're getting them to a place they love the most, and they must be thanking you for finding them the most beautiful space that they can be most comfortable in.
Absolutely. And I always call it a team effort, especially in the Bay Area market with the way we are. It's a very hot season and very active, especially in some locations. And I'm fortunate to be doing what I do, my passion, which is real estate in this Bay Area market.
Now you say hot. Now define hot. What is hot?
Hot is a very active market. Certain locations and properties are going well above asking price and going very fast. And these are all in high demand, and select buyers are going after select properties. Inventory is very tight, and it normally is. It has been this way the last few years, and the demand is more than the inventory.
Okay, so which means it's a seller's market now.
Yes.
And let's talk about the psychology of, some of us are trying to buy a home after being here for many years, some of us 10, 15, 20 years. We almost know what we want, right? Do you find it difficult to sell to people who have always this preconceived notion of exactly what they're looking for? Or is it easier for them to find the right property?
We have challenges, but I always believe in pre-educating people. I seem to have conversations with them, trying to figure out, what the intent is. Are they ready for the market today? Do they have some plans? And I also sit and have discussions and guide them. Part of my job is not just finding them a home and just writing a contract and getting it accepted and moving on, but there is a lot of background, there's a lot of prepping and being ready for this kind of a market, because it is a fast moving market. And yes, we have challenges because people have some rigid ideas. Many of them are not aware of what is happening outside because of being very busy at their own work. And I have a lot of educating to do, but it's very rewarding because I believe in being prepared.
So do you find it easier to sell to first-time home buyers or moving up people?
Absolutely, to moving up buyers. But first-time buyers have to start somewhere. And I've always taken pride in educating them, and it's very rewarding with first-time buyers. You go through a lot more, but the end result is really rewarding.
Do they get like cold feet towards the end that, hey, I'm going to be owning a house, the second most important commitment after marrying?
Yes, that's a good way to put it. But they don't have cold feet when I work with them, because today's buyers are pretty smart. They are well educated. They come from a lot of information from friends and from colleagues, and they read a lot, and there's a lot of information available in the internet and everywhere. And plus, we always have a talk before, and I mentor them and prepare them for what is to come.
Yeah, that's actually pretty good. I don't know if I had that much guidance when I wanted to look for a house. I see a lot of, closed community, what do you call them, the houses that are like cluster homes, and I find them mushrooming almost everywhere in my community. So Are they mostly for first-time buyers or out-of-station people?
Most definitely so, and this is because of the high demand, the concentration of demand in certain locations, especially commute and good schools. They seem to dictate the whole market, commute and schools, and neighborhood, good neighborhoods. So the farther you go out, the market's slowed down as well, but Bay Area, anything within 40-minute commute of high tech and with good schools and good family neighborhoods, we are seeing a lot of activity.
For example, I think a location like Fremont, you can't go wrong. I mean, you're spank in the middle, from Silicon Valley to San Francisco to East Bay, further up, and I think that is an area that will never sort of collapse. But are you anticipating any collapses? Are we sort of in a bubble? Because I think the house prices are at its peak.
Yes, they are at an all-time high, but then again, this is what we keep saying every year and thinking every year for the last several years. And there would be a correction, but I don't think there's going to be a bubble that will burst. And if people are conscious of where they're putting their money and where they're buying, I think we're going to see a correction maybe, but we're not going to see a big drop in prices.
Okay, help me understand this. When I see these cluster homes and there are hundreds and thousands of them coming up, right? Does that affect the market pricing for other homes around the neighborhood?
The cluster homes are coming up in the high demand neighborhoods where housing is very high and the rents are extremely high. So the builders are putting these cluster homes in strategic pockets. If you buy the same cluster home in much farther commute and where the schools and neighborhoods are not that great, then we will see more of a correction there. But the cluster homes are doing well in their own way because it's easy living, and today's buyer, the younger generation of buyers today, they want to have a carefree life. They want to be able to spend their time at work productively. They don't want the baggage of maintaining a big lot and lot of maintenances on the house. And they want more of a lock-up and leave setup where they enjoy the house and the ambiance and they come home to a nice place and it's easy maintenance.
So can you walk me through some of the little things that a first-time home buyer should keep in mind? I mean, what are the things that the do's and the don'ts, and where do you see people get most disappointed and the sale falls apart?
So the first-time buyers today, especially in the Bay Area, are very smart. They can pick up very fast and they come refer to me with information already. They already know certain things. So it's very easy for me to kind of give them the whole runaround and what to expect and what to do. And the first process is the pre-qualification or the pre-approval. Get to know the facts about what you can afford, what the rates are, and that way you don't have a mortgage shock, or you're prepared for what you have to be spending out of pocket when you move from renting to buying, and also the tax benefits of owning versus renting and so many other things. And apart from all this, the first-time buyer is then getting ready to see the budget, to see what they can tailor or fit into their budget once they get the pre-approval. And that is the hardest part in this market, because they think something and the reality is something else. So we kind of clear all these things before we get out and look at property and start making offers. There are times when I'm actually going through the recent sales with them to tell them what a property is listed for and what it sells for in different neighborhoods. This really helps them be more prepared.
I think when you walk into a house, you feel it, whether this is a place that you want to be, or this inner voice that you have to listen to, that this talks to me or this doesn't, right?
The biggest challenge for a first-time buyer in today's market is they are envisioning something and the market is doing something else. And that is the biggest challenge, in my opinion. So when they see the properties listed for a certain price and they sell for much over that, and the conditions and terms and prices are much different to what the buyer is prepared for. So that is a disappointing thing for the first-time buyer. And
particularly in our community, people would want to bargain. So they're never used to paying something more than have been asked for.
Absolutely,
so they would always want like a break, right? And that's where probably some of them are going wrong.
So the preparedness is very important in this market. And I always tell them I'm very realistic when I work with first-time buyers, and even with move-up buyers. They have to have a second and a third choice and backup plans in this market. If they wait for the dream home or for the ultimate to happen, even if they're extremely qualified, there's a dozen or more people going after the same thing. And with tight inventory and with the demand and supply situation right now and the great interest rates, it could be an opportunity lost where they lose a few opportunities and they are still looking and finally end up paying way more or getting off the bandwagon because they just feel that things are not going good for them. We have to be very efficient in the way we function in this market, be it a first-time buyer, a move-up buyer, or a seller.
So on the note of inventory, I'm sure there is a lot of property around here in the Bay Area that can be fixed to look better with a little few minor changes or upgrades. And also that is something that I'm sure a lot of home buyers, when they move into a house, because they're informed, they already have ideas as to how they want to make it look. Next time we're going to talk about upgrades and how we can remodel and how we can take a fixer-upper home and convert that into a beautiful space for living. I'm sure we'll be excited next time as you are now.